So this is just a little bit of an overdue video, but y'all know about Will and Dylan's ex, don't you?
It's just gonna send it.
That's right, but Talons won't run forever sending them like that. You gotta take care of them every now and then. That's right, we're servicing it in this video. But I gotta say, it might be a little bit fast paced, so just pause if you need to unless you're just watching for fun. But I gotta start out with what we need. And that's Honda 80W90 oil for the gears and GM4 10W30 for the buggy itself. But with sockets, the filters will take 8mm, the front and rear diff will take 10 and 17mm. Rear engine oil is 12mm, front engine plug 17, and sub-trans is 17mm. And there's your sub-trans stick, and there's your fill stick. Honda made these Talons real easy to service. And we kind of cheated and skipped ahead a little bit, sorry about that, and started to drain our rear diff. Right there, you can see. And yeah, you'll need your socket for that. And then you take your sockets and drain out the front diff. And please make sure you have a bucket or something to drain all that oil in. And that's where you're going to fill it at, that little bolt right there. Then you'll drain your engine oil. And our buggy is a little bit warm, so that happened, yeah, haha. And you'll also drain your sub-transmission oil. And we got it draining right there. And as I said earlier, 8mm socket for the filters. This is the engine filter right here, so just kind of follow along. Don't get covered in oil. But right now we're just loosening the bolts on both the filters, so just keep them a little bit loose right now. No matter what, you're going to get a little bit of oil on the skid plate, but it helps if you shove a rag or two in there to help catch some of it. And we'll change the DCT filter first. So, you know, just kind of carefully take it off. Because we run our machines before, so the oil's a little bit hot. I know, you need to see that filter come out all the way. You can see a little bit of oil come out with the filter right here. See? So now you'll take your new filter and put it in there nice and snug. Don't lose your spring, by the way. You're going to need that. So just put your spring in there. Then put that cover back on there. Like so. And that filter should be good, so just go on ahead and tighten them bolts back up. And then we're going to move on to the filter right above it. So same drill as before, you know, take the bolts off, take the cover off with it. Be careful, don't get any oil on you. This one dripped a little bit more oil than a DCT filter did. And you're going to see that in just a little bit. Here comes the spill in 3, 2, 1, boom. Glad you got that rag there, ain't you? So as I said before, we run the Talon a little bit before we service it. So it's a little bit hot, so just carefully take that filter out. And then you're just going to slide your new one in like so. And as I was saying before, do not lose your spring, please. So just put that on there, and then you're going to put that cover back on there and tighten those bolts back up. Okay, surely you can do that on your own. We're moving on. So the sub-transmission oil should be all drained out by now. Remember, don't forget your spacer on that bolt. So you're just going to put that bolt back on. And you're going to do the same thing with the engine oil. And in the back, that one bolt you took off to drain the oil, you're going to put that one back on. And then you're going to take your fill plug out. And you're going to take this one out up here. It's where you're going to pour the oil in, as you can see. And you're going to put 3.9 ounces of oil in the rear final gear. And you'll know it's good when you see it dripping like that right there. What you can do is just snug it by hand, and then you can check on it later. So then you're going to put that bolt back on the front diff, as you can see.
Be sure to make sure and clean everything first. I did. We may just not have it on camera, but clean all your oil ports and your bolts and washers. Put everything in. Except we don't have a torque wrench. Just snug it. Does not have to be tight enough to strip it.
And then on the front diff, you're going to take that one out. That's where you're going to pour the oil in. And the front diff takes 13.4 ounces of oil. So you're going to have to get 3 bottles of it. Sorry about that. We filled and a little bit was running out of our fill level, so we're good. And this one we shouldn't have to let settle because our fill plug is our checkpoint. We know our front diff is good, so we're just going to tighten it up. Remember, snug, don't over tighten. And then just look it over. Your front's done. So all we're doing here in the back is just loosening that plug back up so we can check the oil again. You're going to see a drip right there. We're good, so we're just going to tighten it back up. So here, just going to clean everything up. Put that cap back in, and we should be good here. That cap's in a little bit of a touchy spot, but you can get it. See, we did it, so you can too. There you go. Okay, so you should have already loosened your dipstick, so you should just take it out and clean it off. Make sure there's no dirt or anything. And then you're going to go on ahead and clean your dipstick hole. And when that's done, just go on and put your dipstick back in there. And from there, we'll access the fill point. And for those who don't know, the fill point is like right in the back end. You'll see it right here. You just take that cover off and like pretty much there it is. There's that little cap on the left, and yeah, you're going to want to clean all the dirt off around it. You don't want no dirt getting in there. and then you're just gonna take it off. Make sure to clean it real good. So we're running GM4 10W30 oil in our Honda buggies, and this is going to take 6.1 quarts, and that's if you change both filters, the engine filter and the DCT filter. So we just go on ahead and pour 6.1 quarts in there. So the first jug is 4 quarts, so we're going to pour the remaining oil we need in there, and then we're going to check oils Honda recommends it. Start your buggy for about half a minute, and then shut it off and let it sit for about half a minute, and then we're going to check the oil. Pretty sure we put enough in there, but it's good to check. And then we are going to cap it off here so we can start the engine. Before you start to let it run, be sure to snug your fuel stick up, and then you can go ahead and start and let it run for 30 or 40 seconds, and then you can check oil again. As I said before, we did fill it up all the way, but if you're doing this at home, it's good for you to check. And on these machines, you never thread the dipstick in, you just drop it in and pull it out. And we are good. So you can just put the dipstick back in there and snug it up real good. Just like Doc's doing right here. And it is good to check them again, but we know we filled them up all the way, so we aren't going to.
Also, while you're servicing these, it won't hurt to check your brake fluid levels right here in the front to ensure they're full. And check your coolant level. Looks like we're going to have to add just a little bit to Wheelin Dillon's. We add it right under the hood here.
So you can just lift up the hood and pour your brake fluid in there. Sorry, I meant coolant, not brake fluid.
All right, remember guys, we gotta fill our sub-trans up here. It's empty.
So you may need some kind of funnel with an extension there. It takes 1.35 quarts. With that being said, just take your oil and pour it in the funnel and down it goes.
Okay, we've put our proper amount of oil in. Getting ready to check it. Again, do not screw the dipstick in. We're full. We're good to go.
When you're wheeling down in your dad's garage, please make sure you clean up the oil. When servicing, always refer to your owner's manual for specifications and anything you need to know, and you know, it'd be a good idea to check your tire pressure and lots of other stuff while you're servicing.
Okay guys, that's it. For this first break-in service, I would just recommend going around checking all your plugs and drain plugs and fuel sticks. Make sure everything's snug and clean. Air filter on this unit's clean. It's only got 100 miles on it, so we'll hit that the next service. And I recommend going back and taking a water hose and washing your skid plate out for some of the oil that's dripped into it. And after that, for a few days, wherever you park it, just kind of check for leaks. Make sure you didn't miss anything. It's just gonna send it.
Now Wheelin Dillon's buggy's ready to send it. Hope y'all enjoyed. See y'all in the next video. Goodbye.